Yo, welcome to MyMathYourMath. Today, parallel and perpendicular lines. So we're going to be given a line, and on one side I'm going to write the equation of a line that's parallel to it, and then on one side I'm going to write the equation of a line that's perpendicular to it. Now, when you have two lines drawn like that, right next to each other, like two L's, that kind of stands shorthand. It stands for parallel. And then when you have two lines that are, kind of perpendicular, like an upside down T, that usually stands for perpendicular. So two lines are parallel if they look like this, for example. These two lines are parallel. They never cross, right? They're different lines that never cross. Two lines are perpendicular if where they cross creates a 90-degree angle, all right? So that's what it means to be parallel and perpendicular. Now, the slope of a parallel line, we need two things. You need, number one, you need same slope. Okay? And number two, you have to have different y-intercepts. Different y-intercept. Okay? So you must have the same slope but a different y-intercept. Because if you have the same slope and you have the same y-intercept, well, that's the same line, right? So, the example up here, the slope, if this is y equals mx plus b, the slope is going to be 2, correct? So slope equals 2 for the example above. For the example. And if it equals 2 there, then m equals 2 for ours as well, for the parallel. All right? And we can take any y-intercept you want. Any number in the world besides 1 will work. We can take 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's just take a number besides 1. Let's call it 50. Doesn't matter. You could put anything you want. Y equals 2x plus 50 is a line that is parallel to our example. All right, let's look at perpendicular. Perpendicular only requires one thing. The y-intercept can be the same or different. However, the slope of perpendicular is the opposite and the reciprocal of the, and we'll explain that in a second, is opposite reciprocal. So the slope of the perpendicular line is going to be opposite reciprocal. So up here, in the example, m, which stands for slope, is equal to 2. So first, let's take the opposite of 2. The opposite always changes the sign. So if it's a positive number, the opposite is a negative number. If it's a negative number, the opposite is a positive number. This is a positive number, so opposite of it is -2. And then we must take a reciprocal. A reciprocal means if it's a fraction, you flip it. And then you might ask, but -2 is not a fraction, but you could write any number into a fraction over 1. -2 over 1. Reciprocal is, what did you say? Oh yeah, that's right. The reciprocal is -1 over 2. So the new slope is -1 over 2. New slope of and this is the perpendicular line. So we can take any y-intercept in the world. We can take the same one and then put this as the slope. So the equation of the perpendicular line, I'll put a little perpendicular there to represent perpendicular, parallel to represent parallel, is equal to -1/2 x. And that's -1, we could just take +1. You could even take -1 again, it's still okay. Is the equation of a line that is perpendicular to the given line up top.